Yes, good evening. Sava here from Football Heritage TV. We thought that today was going to be the double whammy. We thought it was going to be a double whammy. We thought it was going to be a double deal. But at the moment, it looks like 50% of that double whammy is over the line, and the other 50% is really, really rocky. Welcome to Tottenham Hotspur, Timo Werner. That deal is done. He's talking about winning titles. Which feels to me that he's talking about long-term, not loan deals, but we'll have a look into that. And then Dragusin. We were all talking earlier. About what time will we get there. Here we go. The deal must be done. Even Spurs can't throw it away from this point. Then earlier on, we hear that Fabrizio Romano has said Bayern Munich have put in a bid. So Bayern Munich have put in a bid for Radu Dragusin at the, God, I want to say the 11th hour, but I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. They put in a bid very, very, very late in the day, should we say that. And today, for me, mixed emotions today. Mixed emotions. I think it's shown the best and worst of Tottenham Hotspur. It's shown the very best in terms of being able to get a loan deal over the line, how quickly we're good at that. We're good at getting a loan deal done. We're good at when there's not a lot of money involved. When there is money involved, it's shown again that we have really, really struggled. Now, I'm going to be checking all the time for breaking news, but let's go through and let's see who's in the chat, and then we're going to have a look at the timeline as to what has happened and where we are with both Timo Werner and Radu Dragusin. So a tale of two players this evening. A tale of two players. So first of all, big up to Mark Cook. Thank you very much. Big up to you. I'll always put in the hours, mate. I'll always put in the hours. Absolutely. Big up to you. Evening to Chat Sport. Evening to Hennessy. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. It's Timo time, he says. Big up to you. Big up to Gary Officer, who said, big up all. Starting to have a bad feeling about the Dragusin deal. If he goes elsewhere, who do you think we should go after? Like and subscribe. We will be getting into this, Gary. That is got to be the question, right? Who do we go for? Because we could still get him. I'm not saying the deal is dead. Earlier on, I was 60-40 in favour of Tottenham. A lot of the journalists are coming out and saying that Dragusin himself wanted to wait from yesterday for 24 hours because apparently he knew a bid was coming in for Bayern, and that was his preferred destination. Now, listen, it depends. If you remove your Tottenham Hotspur hat, where would you go? Where would you go? Would you go to Bayern Munich? One of the biggest clubs in world football, titles galore, chance of winning the Champions League every year? Or do you go to Tottenham? Do you go to Tottenham where it's a really cool, exciting project, but there's still a lot to work out there? Do you go and join the likes of Musiala, Harry Kane, Upamecano, Alphonso Davies? I don't know, Gnabry, Sane. Or do you want to join Tottenham and play with Son and Maddison and Romero? I'm guessing these are all the questions that need to be answered, but we're going to find out. But it is Werner on the dance floor. This is the song that I'm seeing going round. Big up to you, Dean. Werner on the dance floor. So, yes, yeah. Hang on 1 second. I'm just seeing if, hang on, fancy. Sean is going to be joining us shortly. Sean is going to be joining us shortly because I wanted someone with a bit of a different take. I think that he's still a lot more confident than I think I would be, or some of the other people in this fan base. But let's see. John Clark said, evening, Sav. I hope you have some good news for us. I don't at the moment. Of course, I have got all of my usual applications open, ready to go. I don't think we're going to see anything else this morning. I think this is going to happen overnight. I am starting to wane towards the 50-50 from my 60-40. Chat Sport has said slim pickings if the deal doesn't happen. We'll just go to a couple of comments, then I will have a look at what's happened in the timeline for today. Can't think of another centre-back that would move in Jan. I think it's going to then be somebody like a Tosin or a Lloyd Kelly. I think it will be a very cheap deal. Mark said, I believe we have invested in a Bunsen and burner. Oh, the old Bunsen burners. Anthony thinks it will be Tosin Adebayo from Fulham. Andy Fenny, Evening Saturday should be a fun show. Listen, let's hope so. Always fun shows. We always have a laugh, don't we? Man Ewer said, hey, Sava, hey to you as well. Belgrade Wanderer said, how do you say here we go in German? Well, there is the question, isn't it? How do you say that? Ash7, who's been telling me all week to calm down. He's been telling me all week, don't worry, this is getting done. Here he is saying it's over, lads. Levy has effed over another manager. Hayden, don't worry. Listen, I wouldn't do this if I needed to take a break. You worry about yourself, my friend. Anthony Lynch has said, hashtag Levy out. Why would anyone of sane mind choose Spurs over Bayern? Well, that's a good question. I mean, Harry Kane didn't. Let's see. He's literally heading to Bayern. I mean, when you say literally, we haven't had any news yet. But Kip Spurs said, well done, Levy, yet again. He's thinking that he is the Don when he's just a plank and he's cost Tottenham again. He has 20 clubs to choose from to get in the Premier League and he's 21. He has plenty of time to make it to the Premier League. That's a very good point. There's no rush. The good news is that Chelsea lost. It would be better news if that was over 2 legs. People starting to say, typical Levy. Loic Bade is now being, that name is now being chucked around. Loic Bade. Sava, you're the most hardworking man on YouTube. You are everywhere all the time. I'm not everywhere. I'm not everywhere. There's plenty of people I don't work with. But, yeah, he was waiting for Bayern. Lots of people are saying that tonight as well, that he was indeed waiting for Bayern Munich. I don't know. I just don't know where I sit with this. What's in the player's mind? I don't know. Valisa said a player who was dead at Chelsea, dead when he went back to Leipzig, and now will cook back in England. Don't change, Daniel. Look, Timo Werner has joined. So look, let's have a look. Let me just quickly go to a few more comments and then we'll have a look. The player said Premier League is his dream. Prove it then. He didn't say it was his dream in 2024. Hennessy, that of course, he's going to Bayern. Anthony has said Fabio doesn't have all his eggs in one basket. Yeah, but isn't this now 2 baskets that would have gone? This would be Tadibo and Dragusin. Ken T has said, big up, Sav. No doubt that Dier will play Sunday. That's the positivity we need. Eric Dier playing against Man United on Sunday. Nicholas Walker said, I think we should just relax if we don't get him. It's a bit rough, but we have Romano and Van der Ven, so no rush. Nicholas, what world have you been living in? Has the last 10 games not taught you anything? Of course there is a rush. You have to have more than Van der Ven and Romero. You have to. Come on, where is the ambition? We can't sit here and keep saying this. Come on. Let's not do this pretend thing that it's okay. Don't worry that we've missed out yet again. He's 21, wants to be the best defender, so he wants to be around great players. Right. Before I go into any more comments, let's have a look at some timelines. Smash the like button, people. There's nearly 200 of you in here already after only a few minutes. I'm sure that will grow as we move along. I'm sure that will grow. So please, please, please do smash that like button. If we have a look at some of the timelines here, shall we? So if we look at what happened earlier, present, share the screen. There it is, Fabrizio Romano. So if we look at what happened here, about 4 hours ago, he's now pinned it to his page. And it was the tweet that I think a lot of people dreaded. If we're going to be brutally honest about this, I think it's the tweet that a lot of us dreaded. Said, exclusive, the Radu Dragusin saga. That's how you know. That's how you know Daniel Levy's involved. Saga. Another saga has taken one more twist. Bayern have now sent a formal bid to Genoa to hijack the deal. I love the words. Saga, hijack. Proposal slightly higher than Tottenham. No players included. Understand Spurs remain confident as previously agreed on personal terms. It's up to Dragusin. Now, following that, he then went on to say this. So this was pinned about 4 hours ago. Ignore that. That is just some news about Joshua Kimmich. Ignore that. That's some PSG news. It's Brighton signing somebody. Timo Werner, we'll come to him in a minute. Timo Werner stuff. It was this 2 hours ago where he said this. He said, Radu Dragusin has to decide his future in the next hours. Genoa will accept both Bayern and Spurs bids as revealed. 25 million plus 5 million euros and Jed Spence on loan from Spurs. A bit more than 30 million euro fee from Bayern. Spurs hope that Dragusin will confirm personal terms agreement. Personal terms agreement. So, by the way, Henry Wright and Sean are going to be joining me in just a minute. So bear with me 1 second, just while I post this out. 1 second, if everyone would be so kind. Where are we? We're here, aren't we? Share, create post, join, Sava, Sean, and Henry live right now. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm guessing if we look at this, it doesn't really matter who's bid what. At this stage, it doesn't matter, does it? Because they've accepted both bids. So that isn't going to be the driver in terms of who he signs for. If we look at it like that, unless anyone could tell me I'm being silly, I don't believe that's going to be a driver. What is going to be a driver is, what are both clubs selling to him? Are Bayern saying, come in, we're getting rid of one of our centre-halves, you're going to play? Are Tottenham saying, come in, you're going to play a lot because of Van der Ven and Romero, and they're injured and their suspensions, and we're going to be in Europe next year, more competitions? Are they selling trophies to him? Are they planning on playing a free at the back, either Tottenham or Bayern Munich? Let's see. I don't know. I just don't know where I sit with this, people. I really don't know where I sit with this. Let me know what you think. This was something that was sent to me earlier. This was from Gianluigi Longari, a journalist in Italy, who said, big up, Sean. Big up to you, my man. You well?
Howdy. I'm good. How you doing?
Yeah, good. I was just reading out what Gianluigi Longari, you know him, has said from the Italian press. He said, optimism in key Bayern, I think he means is key for Bayern, after the raise for Dragusin. The defender had already expressed a preference for the German club. Now, this is where you're going to hear a million different stories. He'd already expressed a preference for the German club yesterday evening, and for this reason has decided to give at least 1 day to the Bavarians, despite the agreement already reached with Tottenham. Now, Sean, good evening. Welcome. Love the chair. Love your face. Love your hat. Love everything about you. Don't love this situation. Bayern jumping in. I'm sure I've just seen you on a stream talking about this, but Bayern jumping in at we would say the 11th hour, but what seemed like we were all waiting for a here we go. First of all, I'm not being stupid, am I? It doesn't really matter what either club have bid because they've accepted both, right? So it doesn't matter that Bayern's bid is more than ours. Is this
No, it's not. Yeah, from what I gather, it's just down to now what the player wants to do.
Right. That's what I was going to say to you. It's fundamentally right now down to Dragusin. Is there anything at this stage Tottenham can do to convince him, or is this purely down to him and his agent sitting down and having talks about what's better for his immediate career?
Yeah, I think that I was saying this before. I think that there's like when you kind of weigh up the pros and cons. On the three big most important factors probably lean you towards Bayern Munich in terms of the stature of the club, the probability of winning trophies. And according to everybody that was in my chat, they think that Bayern Munich are more likely to pay higher wages. So if it's about money or if it's about status and likelihood of trophies, then probably Bayern Munich wins. But then on all the other factors, like likely minutes on the pitch, living in London versus living in Munich, The fact that Vicario's agent is Dragusin's agent, the fact that he's mates with Bentancur and Kulusevski from back in the day, the fact that Ange has got a really good track record of convincing and making compelling stories. You know, when he gets on the phone to players, and you know, like you remember Maddison saying Ange was the difference. Timo Werner said that Ange was the difference. Vicario said Ange was the difference. Like, so for all of the kind of maybe the micro reasons, I think that Tottenham win. For all of the macro reasons, salary, opportunity to win trophies and status of club, probably Bayern wins. So be interesting. I don't know which way it's going to go, but I'm going to go with my gut and think that he's going to be loyal. What I would say is I think
he'll be loyal to the agreement with Spurs.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. But I've got no reason to think that. I just hope. It's more out of hope, I think, you know.
Yeah. Listen, do you know what? I mean, I was leaning very much earlier towards sort of kind of a 60-40 to Spurs still. But I don't know, Sean. For me, let's remove the Tottenham Bayern. I mean, first of all, it's nice to be in a little battle with someone like a Bayern Munich. If we look at it,
Mate, we are. If we win this, we are massive. That's what I'll be saying on Twitter.
If we win this, we are bigger than Bayern Munich.
No,
if
we win this, anybody. There's not a club out there that we have to fear going toe to toe with, apart from maybe Real Madrid. If we've convinced Timo Werner to come to Tottenham over United, and we've convinced Dragusin to come to Tottenham over Bayern, who do we have to fear? Who do we have to fear? There's nobody left,
mate.
If
he picks us, I fully expect Bayern Munich to hand deliver Harry Kane back to Tottenham this summer. Do you know, just to say thank you very much. You're 100%. A massive club, Tottenham. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't deserve him. Clearly, we made a massive mistake. Harry Kane has now realised what a fool he's been.
Exactly.
You know, but we will take Eric Dier. If you don't want Eric Dier, we'll take Eric Dier because you know that's the way it should finish. The story should finish. You know.
Big up. I love Ash is always my go-to guy. He's always got the information for me from different stuff. And all week I've been going, I've got this feeling. And he's going, no, that's Sav. It's done. We're already there. now he's crumbling over the last 3 hours. Look, first of all, it is nice that if he does
I think Ash was the guy on my channel. I was talking about this kid. I was like, I think I've used the Y Scout tool to find like an absolute rock star kid out of Norway. I forget the guy's name now. And I put it out there. I was like, look at this guy. He does everything and he's only worth 7 million. Ash was like, he's not worth 7 million quid. He's already signed for some Spanish club. He's back on loan. Poor football knowledge. And I was like, wow, I didn't know. And then it turns out Ash goes, yeah, he's an absolute wonder kid on Football Manager. And I was like, oh, okay. So if you play Football Manager, then you should know that this kid is an absolute superstar. If you don't, if you're 40 years old.
Yeah. As someone that doesn't play FIFA or Football Manager a lot, like when people go, this guy is brilliant on there. And I'm like, on where? Like, I don't, on where?
Yeah. That's the guy's name. Andreas Schnelldrup. Yeah. Jonas. Yeah, we went through it on my thing. And Ash was like, poor knowledge, Butler. Poor ball knowledge, mate. If you haven't heard of this guy, he's a superstar he's a wonder kid on Football Manager.
I mean, talking about Football Manager, Thomas Bradley on a stream earlier said to me, Sava, give me a club across Europe to manage. So I gave him Roma, and he's just signed Smith Rowe, Almeida, Gomez, and Matson. Let me know how you get on, mate, and hopefully faults with the computer, Jose Mourinho, who needs to find a new club. So big up to you, Thomas Bradley. Yuvraj, when you're saying big up, Savra, at least your club is active in the market, unlike my club. I mean, your club are sitting top of the Premier League. You're through to the next round of Europe. You're in the semi-finals of the League Cup. You've got Bristol Rovers or Norwich at home in the FA Cup. I don't think you're sitting too bad if you're Liverpool right now, Sean, right? I feel like they're okay. You're all right.
There's always a little bit of bad news. Everyone's going through their own problems. They've just lost Trent for a few weeks, haven't they?
Yes, I did see that. Yeah, I mean, they've got Fulham tomorrow, and then I saw they had somewhat Bournemouth away, I believe, at the weekend. So, but look, Sean, on a serious note, you're right. I think we all sit there and go, Bayern Munich are massive. And I'm guilty of that. I did it in the summer. Bayern Munich are massive, biggest club. The one thing that concerns me is the rumours I've been hearing for a while now is that that Bayern Munich are looking to let Matthias de Ligt go. Apparently, they're not impressed with him. He's not done well, and he is somebody they're looking to move out. Hence, the reason they've been looking for another centre half to come in. So, I think that is the reason for it, more than will he get game time behind de Ligt, Upamecano, and Kim Min-jae. I think it's going to be more to rival Kim Min-jae and Upamecano, who is very injury prone. So that slightly worries me.
And the minutes question is also maybe leans that way as well. Then,
yeah, well, it depends, doesn't it? Because look, if he's coming to Tottenham, I mean, Ange is very persuasive. Werner's talked about it now. James Maddison definitely talked about it in the summer and saying, "Hey, I want to go and play for this guy. I love the dream and the vision that he sold me." I mean, Timo Werner's talking about, I've come here to win titles, which doesn't scream of loan. It screams of long term. If I'm honest, that screams of long term.
But what he said?
Yeah. He's hang on. Let's bring it up, shall we?
When did he say this? Tonight?
Yeah. I'm going to find it.
I haven't seen his quotes. He's come to Tottenham to win titles.
Yeah. He said
6 months to do it, bro.
Let me see if I can find it. I bet I can't find it now. One second. Timo Werner. This is the problem. When you go on Romano's page, he's got so much. Yeah, here we go. So we've got someone else who's here to win titles. Is Henry Right TV? Bear with me, Henry. I'll come to you in 1 second. This is what Timo Werner said. He's winning Premier Leagues with us, mate. He's winning Premier Leagues. Look,
right.
Timo has said, "I've joined a big club. I'm here at Tottenham to win titles." Now, that doesn't scream of someone that's joining on loan for 18 games. I've got I don't know, mate. I'm not.
There's no way Timo Werner, right, it has come and said, "I'm here at Tottenham to win titles."
How do you know?
Way.
Title of the worst misses in the Premier League 23-24 season.
Yeah.
Title of the video. Yeah. I don't know.
Apparently,
I like it. That makes my balls tingle, as someone else said the other day. Makes your balls tingle, right? This is what we're talking about.
I reckon what they've done. I reckon they've taken this quote and just taken out Chelsea from 4 years ago and put in Tottenham. I reckon this is what he said when he joined Chelsea 4 years ago. But look, you've got players like that, Henry. We're just talking about what's going to be the driver for Dragusin to pick Tottenham Hotspur over Bayern Munich. And Sean was talking about micro versus macro. Henry's face already is like, it's that. Henry's that kid, isn't he? I bet when he was younger, you could always tell when Henry was naughty. Like, he can't keep that. Do you know what I mean? He can't keep that straight face.
Yeah, I went red immediately. But look.
Yeah.
I've done this my third stream in a row now, Sean. So I know he's probably have said something along the lines of the relationships at Tottenham is better. the management, the play style. But there's one thing that Bayern Munich have over us, and it's the first time I'm saying, is they're going to win silverware.
Yeah,
and that to a lot of players means something. But then again, if he can really sell we've got a plan and we want to compete and try and win the Premier League in the next 3 or 4 years, then it's like, why would a player join Arsenal over Man City? Why did Declan Rice join Arsenal over Man City? Because that Arsenal said we want you to be one of our star players, and we want to go and win.
But Man City didn't have a bid accepted, did they? But
they still got an £80 million bid, and at the time it was very neck and neck. If Man City would have put the money on the table, it'd be very, 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 very hard to turn down. Man, let's be honest. 2 clubs come calling in the world right now: a City and Madrid. You don't turn them down.
No, I agree, but this is why. So I always have this chat when I go on Judge Mo's channel, right? And whoever I'm with, the Arsenal fans, they're convincing me that he only wanted Arsenal, he didn't want City. And I always say, well, hang on. It would be nice to know what would have happened if both would whack down 105 million. Because if Declan Rice had still picked Arsenal over Man City, I'm questioning his IQ. If I'm brutally honest, you wouldn't pick Arsenal over Man City in any way, shape, or form, would you? I know we're going off on a slight tangent. You just wouldn't.
Does Declan Rice play every minute ahead of Rodri?
I think he plays with Rodri.
Yeah, so I'm saying. Hang on. What's the Man City midfield with the Declan Rice in it then? So who misses out?
No one. Declan Rice, Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne.
So who's
That's
currently in
naughty.
the midfield? Yeah, sorry, I'm not questioning. I'm
What
asking.
about like where does the likes of Silva and Stones go? They can all play. That's the beauty of City. They've got so many players that can play everywhere.
Yeah, but does
But the
Declan
beauty-
Rice want to go somewhere where he plays every minute and is pivotal and vital, or does he want to play? Does he want to spend?
Well, that's the same argument we could use with Dragusin. Does he want to go to Bayern Munich and he's not going to play every minute? But you've got the opportunity to win titles.
But he's not going to play every minute at Tottenham. Henry, let's let this sink in, right? We're talking
He's going to
about
play about 50% though, because Romero doesn't. He's always out.
But
have you got another espresso there, Sean?
No.
Is he doing his?
This is a cup of tea.
If we're going to do that game right, in years gone by, you'd say, coming to Tottenham, you're guaranteed a game. The problem is, if he comes to Tottenham, like most clubs now, you would like to think that if it's Dragusin, Romero, and Van der Ven, that three is going to be rotated. Hopefully we're not going to be that club that just goes, right, this two play every God-given minute, and Dragusin drops in when one of them is injured or suspended.
He can play all four, though. He's played games for the national team and for all throughout his career, playing all four positions in the back four and in the back three. So he's very, I know the buzzword at the moment is versatile with the kids. I know it's another one of our buzzwords that we're using. But
aren't you the age where you are the kids? Like,
man, I'm pushing 30. What do you mean? Someone said to me the other day, someone messaged me on Twitter, said, his Twitter name ended in 09. And I'm like, mate, you're 15. Like, we're just talking about football. I was like, mate, I'm nearly double your age already. What is going on? I mean, you boys are nearly like, nearly triple.
I said to you the other day when you were like, you were saying something to me. I was like, mate, you're 23. You've got plenty of time. And you were
I was
like,
mate, I'm
28. And I was like, oh yeah, you haven't got that much time then.
Then you go to 28, mate, and start going off Everest. The only thing that gets better is your car insurance, you cheater.
Not anymore. These things keep going up regardless.
I mean, let's talk about those kids then, Henry. Those really young people that talk about versatility. I talk about versatility. I know I'm youthful looking. I know I look like I'm 21, but versatility really is key. It really is key. And I was just saying to Sean that there's lots of talks that they want to move De Ligt on. That what they're trying to do is bring in a centre back so they can move De Ligt on because he is not.
I had a Bayern Munich guy in my chat earlier saying, because I said the same thing, and he said it's rubbish. He's not going anywhere. He's just injured at the moment.
I
don't know. I don't know Bayern Munich's. I don't follow them that closely. So
yeah, I mean, but plus we're saying up in Meccano is injury prone. Look, I don't know. Let me ask you a nice question. Take your Spurs hat off. Where are you two going, lads? If you're in this position, where are you going realistically? Tottenham have dicked about. Let's call it for what it is. We've dicked about for 11 days, right? Bayern Munich have come in.
11 days? It's only the 9th.
Yeah, we were in talks for them from the 29th.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is my point. Bayern Munich have come in.
I don't think we've dicked about, mate. I don't think we've dicked about.
I do.
No, we've got the bit like. I was saying this earlier, if you go in, if you say how much do you want? They say 30 million, and you go, or if you just go straight in and go, here's 30 million on day one. I don't. That's not how negotiations work.
It doesn't take 11 days to get to 25 million euros plus 5 million add-on, does it?
Regardless, though, Bayern, if this whole story had been accelerated 4 or 5 days, the agent would have been shopping him around 4 or 5 days earlier. Like none of this, I don't think any of this is dependent on the fact that it's taken until the 9th of January. I just think that the agent waits until he's got an offer, waits until he's had concrete talks, and then he's shopping them around because he knows that centre-backs are in high demand, short supply, similar to strikers, and he's trying to do his best for his client. Let's find out who else is interested. We got a concrete offer from Tottenham Hotspur. Oh, Bayern Munich are interested as well. Let's not rush. I know Tottenham are in a rush to get you in for the Man United game, but let's not, we're not in a rush here. Let's decide our options. Let's think about our options. Bayern Munich come in. This whole thing could have happened exactly the same on the 1st of January, the 3rd of January, the 6th of January.
Okay, so devil's advocate. So if on the 2nd of January, Tottenham had offered this very bid that we offered today, do you think that still would have triggered Bayern Munich on the 2nd to go, hang on, we're in as well?
Possibly.
Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
We've got no idea, but
Sure.
I think this agent is doing what he's doing. It's not. negotiations aren't a one-way street, right? Like there's lots of different parties involved, always trying to get their own best interest served, and the agent is trying to find out who's interested. I don't necessarily think that this would have happened any different had it just been accelerated 3 days, or if it had been delayed 3 or 4 days. If Tottenham hadn't put together and hadn't had these conversations until now, Bayern Munich may or may not have got involved early, and we might be having the exact same thing play out on the 15th of January. I think
completely agree.
I think the timing is largely irrelevant, if I'm entirely honest.
I completely agree. But do you understand those that look? I think the problem is because there's previous, right? Because we always look. I don't want to. I'm not going to turn into a Daniel Levy hate fest, right? And I'm not one of these who buys into this. I don't know if Henry is or you. I'm not one of these that buys into, oh, but Levy's not in charge anymore. Johan Lang is, or this person is. I don't buy that for 1 second. It's never changed. It's always been Daniel Levy. I just feel like because we seem to do this a lot. We go into negotiations. Other clubs don't seem to take this long. And it just feels like, what if we had said on day 2, right, there's 25 million euros plus 5 million on top. Then we could have negotiated, right, okay, well, they put in 30, 32, or whatever however you want to play it. I just feel like we've sat around, waited, and if we don't get him, can you see, Sean, how people might feel it does feel a little bit like it was in our hands and we've kind of wasted a lot of time here if we don't get him. Hypotheticals.
I don't know. Like I say, we're all speculating, mate. I genuinely, I've never been involved in a football negotiation, so I got no idea how it works. I'd be surprised if anyone in the chat has. Let us know if you've actually been involved with a football club and you know the intricacies of how these things work. But I do know how agents go about things in the industries I've worked in, and they're best in like broker houses, for example. In the financial game, their job is to ring around 15 different market makers and find out who can place the order, who can run the order, and who can get the best deal for the client in terms of what's called the basis points. So like it's a process, and the broker or the agent in these things, their best interest is to, or their intentions is to look after the client. And I think that, as I say, I don't know, but I'm saying it's entirely plausible. It's entirely plausible that if Tottenham had put up the money on the 2nd or 3rd of January, that the agent would have gone, oh, Tottenham are about to bid. Is anybody else? And phone up Bayern, phone up Newcastle, phone up Everton, Arsenal, Real Madrid, everyone else, and say, listen, Dragusin might be going to Tottenham. Is he a player you're interested in? If so, you better move now. I think that's what's happened yesterday with Bayern Munich. And I think it may well have happened if it happened on the 3rd, or it might not have happened until the 15th if Tottenham waited. So I don't know. Could be wrong. You might be entirely right. Daniel Levy has dragged his feet and cost us a good player.
I'm just asking questions. Listen, one thing I will always say is we can never say 100% because we're not involved in it, right? That's our job, right? We just pick out different things. I mean, Henry, what's your take on this? Is this lots of people, the moment that came out, right? You should have seen it in my chat earlier. It was hilarious. We're literally playing a game in the chat. Everybody put the date and time of when we get the here we go, right? Everyone's going 10 p.m. tonight, 10 a.m. tomorrow. Within 15 minutes, that news came out and then all the chat suddenly went to Levy's done it again. We take too long, blah, blah, blah. Where are you with this? Is it probably a bit of both? A bit of we are too slow, but also his agent is playing the game and keeping people like...
Yeah, exactly. Of course his agent's playing the game. He's going to be thinking like Mino Raiola used to do it all the time for the Pogba and players like that. And his job is to maximise his revenue that he can get part of the deal that he's doing between his client and the club. The problem we've got is, and I think I've been very fair on this, is getting rid of Ashley Phillips was categorically a stupid decision to do right now. Because we will not have a new centre-back through the door and signed and had a training session, all the media stuff done and the medical done before that Man United game.
Yeah,
so
I agree with that.
Where I'm sitting at right now is...
Do you not think, hang on, sorry, can I just say, apart from the Man United game, is it the right decision to let him go out on loan?
Yes, the right decision to go out on loan, but at least get another body through the door first.
Not until you know you've got someone, you've got cover coming in.
If we said, look, Phillips, you're gonna have to play this game due to we're waiting on bodies to come in. Effectively go and show the club and the scouts what you've got. We haven't seen him start a Premier League game yet. It is a bit of a baptism of fire. The same with Dorrington comes in. It's Man United away. and it's probably going to be Højbjerg to play. But I think at the moment, I'm very much. I see both sides of the argument. I get it's a negotiation. Obviously, we know plenty about negotiations. Maybe not football negotiations, but dealing with flipping contracts and people's roles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got a client and a flipping candidate, and you're trying to put two together. It's similar to a degree, but
I like it. Henry's making me and him sound like football agents. I love it. Yes, Henry. When we worked in the international market for football trading,
the thing that we're sitting here is it's been 11 days, and we've coughed up. If we coughed up the money maybe 3 or 4 days ago, we might have pressurized the agent and the player into making a faster decision. The only problem is, even if we pressured him earlier, I think Sean is right that Bayern Munich would have come calling. And the problem we've got now is we're in a fish with a humongous. We're in a pond with a humongous fish.
Where I'd also extend the sort of leverage to this is Tottenham's fault thing. Whilst I still maintain that if you had gone earlier, then Bayern would have also gone earlier, so we'd still be in the same position. But what we would have is more time to pivot to a plan B or C or whatever. Go and get the Buongiorno, go and get Christensen, whoever it is that we would have to pivot to next. We would still have enough time. But then I guess everybody is just looking at Manchester United as like this line in the sand. Like, we need someone in for that game.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, all right, if he's not here, then Man United is going to be a really difficult game to get the points out of. But getting the decision right is more important than rushing it for one particular game, in my opinion. No,
I agree with you. And by the way, anything we're talking about, people in the chat, big up to absolutely every one of you. There's 510 of you in here at the moment, and only 134 likes. That is absolutely shambolic. Come on, guys. Please smash the likes. Please subscribe to Henry. You can tell how much I've streamed today. I can't talk. Please subscribe to Henry at Henry Wright TV. Please subscribe to Sean at Spurs Talk Show. And please subscribe to Football Heritage TV. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed today. We've had 120 subscribers today alone and nearly pushing the 13K barrier. So thank you so much to absolutely each one of you. What I would say to everyone, and I have to remind myself of this all the time as well, is everything we talk about is hypothetical. We're all sitting here and it's kind of like that mood, Henry, is almost like, oh, well, Dragusin's gone. And he hasn't even made a decision. Like, we don't know. But automatically, have we all subconsciously agreed in our minds that we probably think he's picking them? Or are we all doing ourselves a disservice and tomorrow we could wake up to the news that, no, Dragusin wants to join the project at Tottenham Hotspur?
He's coming to Tottenham.
So,
I don't know what I've got a feeling we're going to wake up to a here we go that he's coming to Spurs, but in the back of my mind I'm dreading that. Oh, here we go. Just very quickly, guys. Have you seen Florian Plettenberg's tweet about Real Madrid have?
Don't say enter the chase for Dragusin. Don't say that.
No, they've contacted Bayern Munich for Davis, and Davis is not extending his deal, as in the
Alfonso,
Canadian left back,
not Ben.
98 pace card on FIFA,
the absolute pace machine, Roadrunner. He's going to be Real Madrid's left back in the summer, apparently.
Yeah, I saw there's a lot going around today about Alfonso Davies going to Real Madrid. And if they get him and Mbappe, and they've already got Vinicius Junior and Rodrigo and Bellingham and
Kimmich is going to
Camavinga, a lot going on. Guys, let's talk options. Let's just assume he picks Bayern Munich. Just for the second, let's just assume he picked Bayern Munich. Where do we go from there? Because one of the key things is, no matter whether or not we'd say, oh, they're a decent option, I don't know what you guys think. I'll put my statement out there right now. You know where I'm going with this. If the next player through the door is a Lloyd Kelly or a Tosin, by the way, I don't mind Tosin, but if it is one of those, isn't it going to very much feel like it is always the bridesmaid and never the bride type?
It's going to be Joe Roden instead of Ruben Diaz vibes.
Right. Isn't it? It's going to be that vibe, isn't it? It's going to be we wanted Bruno Fernandes, but we got
Lo Celso.
Whoever we got in, we wanted we wanted Diaz, we got Roden, we wanted whoever, and
we wanted Mane, we got Nkadu.
Right. Is there going to be that type of feeling around it, or do you think
it's going to be if we don't get Dragusin over the line and we bring in Lloyd Kelly, it will be as toxic as ever.
Do you think as ever? You think it'll be that toxic?
If we get Tosin, I don't think it would be nowhere near as bad. Because a lot of people, I'm a big fan of Tosin, but I've said even if we get Dragusin done, we need 2 centre backs this window. If it's true, Romero's got this muscle injury, and we don't know what Van Vender's going to be like after this hamstring. He could, like Sean said earlier on my stream, he could do a sprint and then bang, he's gone again. So bringing in just 1 centre back this window, I'm scratching my head thinking, okay, well, we need 2.
To go back to Al Nassr and say, any chance you've got bored of Aymeric Laporte?
Yeah. I mean, Sean, let me ask you, where are you on this thing? So Henry has used the term, it will be as toxic as ever.
I think it will be horrendous, mate.
If we were to get, I mean, let's just Lloyd Kelly rather than a Dragusin. Where are you with that?
Well, I'm okay with bringing in Lloyd Kelly personally. I don't want him to be the first choice or the number one. I wouldn't mind him being the second guy that we bring in. Tosin, I think, would be fine. There's other names out there, though. You know, I think if you were to go to that Inacio, if you go to Sporting and drop 50 million, 45 million, you could go and get that Gonçalo, but Inacio. You bring on Danny Kiriakou so I can bury him. I haven't buried him for a while.
Do you know what Danny Kiriakou's like? I did message him earlier and said, mate, do you fancy it? Hasn't read it. Then he comes on here. Danny, read your WhatsApp. Sean wants to bury
you know who I forgot about this guy. You know who else will go and get? I think he'd be awesome. Is that Pavlovic from Salzburg? I think he would be absolute, and I think he's attainable as well.
You're using that Y Scout, whatever it is, every day, aren't you?
Yeah.
You got more gems than a flipping jewelry.
I sit in bed at night when I can't sleep, and I plug into Y Scout and just dial up some filters and go, who are we looking at tonight? And then I go and just check out and I think that Pavlovic, we were linked to him a while back, and I was like, he would be awesome. He would be awesome. I think he's a brilliant talent. He's only 20. I think he's 23. Pavlovic, 22, 23.
Okay, so can I ask this question in a different way, guys? Purely for content. Don't all shout at me. If we do go and get a Lloyd Kelly, does all of the club have changed? We're going down a data-driven model. We're going to back Postecoglou and give him what we want. Doesn't all of that completely go out the window if we go back to... Because a Lloyd Kelly type signing is what we've been doing for the last 10 years. You know, we're easy. 6 months left on the contract. Can't get in the Bournemouth team, right? We go and sign him. Doesn't that just scream off?
He's been injured, mate. He can get into the...
But even when he wasn't injured, he wasn't getting in the Bournemouth team above Zabanyi and... is it Senesi?
Yeah.
The other centre-half, Senesi. He wasn't getting in above them. The Bournemouth fans themselves are saying, he's all right.
Yeah, he's all right. He's like he's a sort of the same way the Tottenham fans talk of Ben Davies.
Like, right. Okay. Yeah, it does a job. We don't mind it coming in. Doesn't it scream of that though, Sean? Like it just screams
as I've been saying, I think that can you imagine how if Tottenham were playing Conte ball and we'd bought Mickey van der Ven, do you think Tottenham fans would think as highly of Mickey van der Ven as they do seeing him play in the High Line?
Well, I mean, difficult to say, but Mickey van der Ven's a good player, even without his pace. He's very good on the ball. He's very intelligent. You see
the very best version of Mickey van der Ven because the system suits. And I'm not saying that, like, I'm not comparing Van der Ven at all to Lloyd Kelly, but I do think that Lloyd Kelly's best assets are not necessarily shown when Bournemouth previously have. I mean, these days they're playing more expansive football, but previously they weren't. When they, like last year, they were trying to stay in the Premier League and they were building something. This year they've become a little bit more expansive, but last season they didn't really. I don't think Bournemouth's style of football suited Lloyd Kelly enough to show the best version of Lloyd Kelly. That's not to say that I think Lloyd Kelly is a top class defender, but I can understand the rationale for why the club, Tottenham, would think that he wouldn't be a bad fit. as a backup option.
But,
Please bring Danny on. I'd love to have a bury. I haven't buried anybody.
Mate, I've sent him the link. Yeah, he's going to pop on. He's going to pop on.
Lovely.
Just quickly, guys, have you seen some of the meltdowns from the Chelsea loss?
Yes, yeah, it's hilarious. Oh my god,
absolutely.
I'm in a WhatsApp group. I'm in a WhatsApp group with Goonie, right? Oh my god, I'm just in there going, he's magic, like all of this stuff. But look, the thing is, Sean, like, so if we look at Lloyd Kelly, right? This is a guy that played 23 games of Premier League football last year, has managed 9 appearances this year. For me, listen, this is just for me. I feel like this would be a case of, again, at the moment, I feel from our fans, Henry, right, or either of you, that every time we talk about a player now, our fans are almost getting to the point where it doesn't matter how good or bad they are. Postecoglou is Lord Saviour himself and will turn water into wine. And I think that will only get you so far with certain players. This, for me, would just scream again, oh, we've shortchanged the manager. For me, this would just be, oh, we've gone cheap, that we've got no plan. Like, what was Rob McKenzie for? What was Johan Lang for? What, to go and find Lloyd Kelly from Bournemouth, who's running out of contract? I fail to believe that this could be a deal, guys. Surely, please. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Like I say, I think that the fact that he's homegrown, I think that there's a rationale. I think there's a rationale for it, and I don't think he's a bad player. And I think he's not coming in to compete for the first team. Like, there's a difference, right? If you sign a Dragusin, you hope that he's not just going to rotate, but he's going to compete. I think with someone like Lloyd Kelly, if he was to come in, he would be pretty much second fiddle to Van der Ven in most games, and would play in the cup competition, the early rounds of the cup competitions, if we were in Europe next season. So he would. But
Sean, Van der Ven's now had 2 serious hamstring injuries in his career already.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Romero, as we said, since he's joined Spurs, the amount of minutes that man has missed on the pitch is bordering on silly now. Like, surely the player that comes in, we've got to be looking at it now as this is a first-team football player, right? Not another. What I don't want is another Ben Davies that we're left with for 5 years, and what we're doing is going.
I like Ben Davies. The hate on Ben Davies, I think, is not.
No. I don't know what
number Timo Werner is?
No.
Do you know what number is?
No.
Number 16.
Who was the last person to wear the 16?
I was just about to ask Sava or you. I haven't got a clue.
I don't know. Hang on. Can we, before we worry about Timo Werner's number, hang on. We're talking about Lloyd Kelly here, right? By the way, I'm not hating on Ben Davies. I think Ben Davies.
No, I'm not saying you are.
I know.
Yeah.
I think Ben Davies has been a really good squad player for us. But Sean, for me, I think it's levels, and I don't know if Henry agrees with this or what. Right? For me, it's levels. I think if you want to get, if your choice is always, if your ambition is always 4th to 7th, I think Ben Davies has a place in the squad. I think if we're really talking now about wanting to challenge for titles, wanting to win Europa Leagues or Champions Leagues, if we're in it,
you need better than Ben Davies.
Then for me, I just think at some point you've got to go up the next level. Because I'll ask this: is there anyone like Ben Davies playing centre half for Liverpool or for Man City?
No.
Joe Gomez.
Joe Gomez is a good player.
Joe Gomez last year was horrible. This year,
Joe Gomez last season was terrible. Yeah, this season he's been very good.
He's been unbelievable.
Just quickly, I just want to share this screen because this doesn't bode well.
Oh, good. Let's bring it up immediately. What is it?
Is that our number 16s before?
Number 16s that have worn for Tottenham. Mickey Hazard, Ronnie Rosenthal, Clive Wilson, Armstrong, Iverson, Konchesky, Ziegler, Lee Young-Pyo, and Gareth Bale good, Chris Gunter, Kyle Norton, Kieran Trippier, and Kyle Walker-Peters.
Hang on.
Not wonderful.
Hang on. Right, Stefan Everson was one of the last strikers to win a trophy at this football club. Thank you very much.
I love Stefan Everson. Right. I met him in the casino once.
Chris Armstrong had a very good goal scoring record for Tottenham Hotspur, I'll have you know.
Didn't play enough.
Yeah. Look, I don't know about the numbers, but guys, people are talking about Bade of Sevilla as an option at centre half.
Another player who can't pass the ball, but good at defending.
I'm just going with names that people in the chat. Who have you seen us linked with? And I'll ask Henry and Sean.
DiMarzio tweeted out, by the way,
about what?
Saying Dragusin, the challenge between Bayern Munich and Spurs continues. The player will decide in the morning. So we'll know where he's going in the morning.
I look forward to my 10 a.m. show.
It's either going to be brilliant or a meltdown. There's a here we go. Every time there's a here we go, Sava is live. It 100%, 100% happens when Sava is live.
Hang on. Listen, look, sometimes the 10 a.m. show is dead. Other times it's great. I was lucky.
You had 2,300 people in your stream earlier, mate.
Yeah. What's he complaining about? I drop a video and I drop a video
in the summer
and the population
of hit record of here we goes when he was live.
You drop a video and the population of a small country tunes in within an hour to watch it. Do you know what I mean? And you're complaining. Oh, Sava, you know why? You know what it is, Sean? You know which one it is? What you're probably talking about. It's that I was live when Harry Kane. You were live with Harry Kane. You were live with Maddison. You were live with Vicario. you had 100% record of all the transfers last year with the here we goes. Right. But that doesn't bode well, because if I'm live, I will be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. for my show. And if the news comes through that he's going to Bayern, I can only imagine what the comment section is going to be like. It's going to be painful. So guys, give me centre half. He's coming to Tottenham. It's been manifested. Jacob put his hair in a bun specifically to manifest, and he's coming to
centre backs. There's a lot of talk about Christensen from Barcelona. Apparently, they're in a bit of financial problem. I'd love him in a Spurs shirt. Christensen, I think he's class. Tosin Adarabioyo, seasoned pro, right? That's been there, seen it, done it, played for big clubs, right? I'd take him in a heartbeat. You got Lloyd Kelly, you got Tosin Adarabioyo. Todibo potentially, but I can't see that happening. There's the question, Henry. Todibo. They were talking about wanting 50 to 55 million euros for him. We've just been pandering about with bids between 20 million and 25 million euros. Can you? Have we got any money? Is that because we don't value Dragusin at the money? Because Romano said we were prepared to put a massive bid on the table for Todibo. So is that because we don't value Dragusin at 30 million, but we do value it Todibo at 60?
100%, I reckon.
You reckon that's what it is?
So then why didn't they bid for Todibo?
Because Todibo said, or Nice said, well, according to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, or according to people reports, whatever, it wasn't Sir Jim Ratcliffe saying no, it was the Nice, the Nice structure that said we're not in any rush to sell him. And if anything, we would like to keep him till the summer. What's this? Sean couldn't bury anyone. He has big dreams. Unfortunately, they are not real. Sean thinks he's Fred West at burying, but not really. He's not really. No, I'm just like Bumsy burying my hat. Eventually, it turns up.
I just don't see where we go from here. That's going to placate, if that's the right word. No, that's not it.
Yeah,
placate fans. Yeah. If we're going to placate fans, I don't see where we go. My worry is that if we get to the end of the window and it's Lloyd Kelly in for like £6 million because he's got 6 months left and Timo Werner on a loan, are we really looking at a change in direction as a football club? It will just scream of both signings. Scream to me of meh. If I'm honest, I'm not saying Werner will do bad. I'm sure he Postel can get the best out of him, but it doesn't really scream with everything we've been hearing about this new recruitment team that's in place, does it?
Let's come out from the Athletic as well. Tottenham hierarchy are keen to give Ange Postecoglou what he wants in the transfer window this month, following a good start to his appointment. So surely that means
now we're talking. Levy in.
Surely that now means
shameless.
One of the centre backs is coming. It may be a Rolls Royce from coming in from Germany by the name of Japhet Tanganga.
By the way, can I just say, if Dragusin does go to Bayern Munich, can we all just take 1 minute to just spare a thought for Eric Dier, who probably then won't be going, and
the
we are then going to be left
alive right now who wants Dragusin to come to Tottenham more than anyone connected with Tottenham Hotspur is Eric Dier.
He's Eric Dier, yeah.
Because he'll get that move.
Who?
No, Eric Dier. I reckon Bayern Munich.
You don't reckon he'll move?
No, I don't. The whole thing didn't make sense, did it? Let's be honest. Like, even though everyone was reporting it, TalkSport were talking about it, Sky Sports were talking about it. Every single person that was English who knows Eric Dier was going, "Huh? What? How's that? How does that make any sense at all? Apart from doing Harry Kane a favour, if that's what it was." Harry Kane.
Romano's just repinned the tweet of linking Tottenham to Dragusin.
What do you mean he's repinned it?
But back on his, he's been like taking off.
He took it down, did he? Because he backed himself.
No, he hasn't. I can see it now. The one he's got pinned is with the Radim Dragusin saga has one more twist.
Yeah.
It's the one where
Henry.
Henry. Right, come on, guys. I need some centre back names. Or do you think we will batten down the hatches and go with Dorrington, Dier, Van der Ven, Romero, Davis, and Royal?
Tosin.
I got some names for you.
Tosin. Right, you're Henry's going with Tosin out of Bio.
It makes sense. It's the cheapest. He's homegrown. He's good with the ball.
Lives in London.
Yeah, he hasn't even got move house. Schlotterbeck. Now that's a centre back, but he's never leaving Dortmund for us.
Now this guy, by the way, is the other one on Bayern Munich's list. So if they don't get Dragusin, all the reports are saying that they're going to go for this guy. I don't know lots about him. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I do. Anyone?
No, I don't know much about him.
Well, if he's going to be linked to Bayern Munich, they're not exactly going to sign,
Eric Dier.
Are they? Yeah,
Eric
but I
Dier's
think that's because he's changed agent or something. I think the agent's probably thinking, hang on, we might be in for a big payday here, son. We're going to be millionaires, Rodney.
What do you think of Nathan Collins?
I mean, surely we could be looking at better centre-backs.
It just screams of what we've done for the last sort of 10 years rather than
we might as well get Razor Ruddokin.
Well, we might as well bring back who was it before Paratici? I can't remember his name. The guy who hated transfer windows. What was his name?
You look like a cue ball, whatever his name is.
Yeah, from All or Nothing. Everyone in the chat will be able to tell us. Oh God, do you remember? He said, "Oh, I don't really like transfer windows." It was like, hang on, mate.
What was his name? Hitchin.
Steve Hitchin.
Yeah.
So if you're going to bring in Nathan Collinses and Lloyd Kellys, you might as well go back to the days of Steve Hitchin in charge, right? Like, what have we done this whole new recruitment process for?
Listen, if you're looking for like 20-year-old people that are young enough that can grow and back, there's the Scalvini fella from Atlanta we've been linked with. There's the fella Gonzalo Inacio from Sporting, I think would be absolutely awesome. Pavlovic is 22 from Salzburg. Lacroix from Wolfsburg we've been linked with. There's lots of players out there that are really talented ball-playing centre-backs that can do a job.
That
do a really good job.
He's the French guy, isn't he? He's absolutely rapid, isn't he?
Yeah. Maxence or something. Maxence Lacroix.
Yeah.
Plays for Wolfsburg. I think Tottenham will pivot somewhere. Plus, we were linked with that fella from Honduras, or he plays in like Mexico. Do you remember the guy? He plays for like something America, University America or something.
Lots of people are talking. Is it Caceres? Are you talking about?
Caceres, that's it. Caceres,
Caceres.
What about the guy, like Phil P said, Braithwaite, whatever his name is, from Everton, the young centre-back?
How much is he going to cost?
Who? The guy from who?
Braithwaite from Everton. Really good player.
he's probably gonna be 50
Braithwaite is
million,
awesome,
yeah.
They've
How
got a £100
much?
million release clause. He's got.
How much?
He's got a £100 million release clause. But obviously, Everton would do. Everton are broke, so they do business cheaper than that. But he's their star boy, isn't he? So.
Yeah, that's just obscene.
If that's the case, we might as well go and get Bukayo Saka. He's a star boy as well, not very good. So we'll go and get Bukayo Saka, a little cheeky one, a little dig at all the Arsenal fans.
People
Guys,
saying Cameron Carter's Vickers. Bring him home.
Bring him back. Bring him back. And listen, if we're going to buy Lloyd Kelly, you might as well bring back Cameron Carter Vickers. At least he knows how to play the Ange Postecoglou system, right?
You know, at the moment, in the last 2 years, I played more minutes at centre back on that pitch than Dorrington has.
Yes, I've seen the footage of you playing on that pitch.
Listen, I assisted one of the goals that stadium has ever seen, mate. Well, I say I assisted it. I played a pass to a pass to a pass to the assist.
Here we go. Henry started
off
the move.
You got the pass before the key pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm taking that to the bank.
I'm not sure they even measure that on any of the stats websites.
Well, I'm measuring it.
Okay.
Guys, a few names here. Before we get to these 4 names, a few people were talking earlier about apparently Tomori is available in one way or another, and AC Milan would look at selling him. Would anyone take Tomori, and what do you think it would take to bring him? What sort of number are we talking?
Yes, 10,000. But you're looking at 60, 70 million. We're not going to pay that.
I'd take him. I think he's brilliant. I'd
have him.
He's injured. I'm sure he's injured.
Him for me, I'd have him over Todibo. I'd have him over Dragusin. I'd have him over any centre back we've been linked to. One, he's homegrown, so he eliminates a massive problem we've got coming up. 2, he is absolutely rapid.
Yeah.
So him next to Van der Ven, if Romero gets injured, you are absolutely fine playing a high line.
Harry Maguire's keeping him out of the England team though. So what are we doing here?
Sorry?
Oh but Gareth Southgate is the worst football manager.
You get him playing under Ange back. If he gets him playing under Ange back in England, he'll get back in that England squad immediately. He's very, very good on the ball.
He's a great player.
I'm sure he's I'd take him in a heartbeat. Hincapi, that's another one.
Well, look, the person who put that chat up, the players they were talking about, I believe, so off the top of my head, were Guehi, Anderson, Ethan Pinnock, and Braithwaite were the 4 that he mentioned.
Pinnock, isn't he 30 or something? Isn't he his late stages of his career, isn't he, Pinnock?
I mean, look, we'll have a look. Danny said he should be on in a few minutes. God, honestly, Danny, I'll tell you what. If you were in a burning building, you wouldn't want Danny Kyriakou as the fireman, would you? He'd take so long to get to you. He would take so long, wouldn't he? Hang on.
We'd all be melted by now.
I'm just coming. Ethan Pinnock. Look, Ethan Pinnock for me falls into that bracket of solid Premier League defender.
Not for me.
At that level. I think he's at the right level, the right club.
What about Anderson?
I mean, how much is he going to cost?
He's another one. But all these defenders we're looking at.
I think we ballsed up massively, Henry, when we didn't get him. I think he went to Fulham at the time for
he went from
Palace.
Lyon, on loan from Lyon, didn't he?
Yeah, he went on loan. And then he went to Palace for like 17 million.
Also,
Tomori's done his hamstring, so he's an absolute shoo-in to fit in just perfectly at Tottenham Hotspur.
We missed that massively on Paqueta from Lyon as well. Do you know West Ham, by the way, this for the next month, I've got no Bowen, Paqueta or Kudus.
Why? What's wrong with Bowen?
Yeah, I did his hamstring.
What's wrong with Paqueta?
He's got a groin injury, hasn't he? And then Kudus is away on an international break, or international tournament.
Well, that's going to see them. Listen, I'm telling you what, we're guaranteed Europe because they're the nearest to us. And without that free, they're going to be absolutely...
Oh, sorry, Bowen's got an ankle injury, but according to FPL, he's only got 50% chance of playing. And that normally means he's going to be out for a while.
Oh,
bit of an FPL pro myself, so...
I just don't know where we're at. Guys, listen. Some people are saying Gertruda from Feyenoord.
Yeah,
Another good player.
massive utility. We can play right back, centre back, left side of centre back, DM. We can play basically everywhere on the pitch.
So let me ask you a different question. Forget who. If, again, hypothetical, if he does go to Bayern Munich and that comes out tomorrow that he's picked Bayern Munich, how quickly do you want to see some action from Spurs that a bid has gone in for the next choice?
The same day. No messing about. We can't wait any longer. The longer we leave it, we're going to be coming up to the FA Cup game, which is our biggest game of the season. But I don't think you understand.
You've got United away and then City at home in the next two games.
Yeah.
You know, so it's two big games.
Destroyed by United if it meant we beat City. Like if it means
Hayden Hackney, by the way, is that his name? Hayden. I did a thing on him earlier. What are we doing? We can't. No more 17-year-olds from 18-year-olds from Championship clubs, please. Not just for a little while. Just for a little while. Can we like put that stuff to the back burner and focus on the here and now? We got enough 18-year-olds for the time being, I think.
Like what happened to all those flipping centre backs we were linked to on the Conte that could still, like I think we missed out on Pau Torres.
No, we didn't.
I think we did.
No, we didn't.
I don't see. I think whenever I watch Villa play, he looks cool, calm, and steady. I don't know why people don't like Pau Torres.
He's better than flipping Davies. He's better than.
He turned us down, boy. He turned us down 3 different times, 3 different approaches.
Yeah, but maybe not with Ange whispering his ear.
3 different reasons.
If Ange is whispering his ear, hello, mate, and that might be enough.
Just hello, mate. Like, if they're no more stars,
just hello, mate.
What about Glasgow's Bremer's? He's happy at Juve now, and he's going to get a new contract.
See, people are saying like Loic Bade will be expensive, but here's the thing, right? I don't know. I don't want to break the bad news to a lot of people. I'm not saying this person here, but if you want quality, you normally have to pay for it, right? It's you can't constantly go and get 21-year-olds. You've got to, at some point, you've got to go and get some real quality. And unfortunately, that is what Liverpool have done. That's what City have done. That's why these teams have won things. Listen, I'm not saying, guys, I'm against bringing in 21-year-olds or whatever, but do you see where I'm coming from with that, Sean? Like, in terms of Liverpool, what got them from being a good team under Klopp to a winning team and a team that's challenged and won Champions Leagues and leagues was when they went
reinvesting their £150 million perfectly well into 2 brilliant players. What did Tottenham do with £100 million? Brennan Johnson.
Well, 50 million of it was on Brennan Johnson, right? And then the other, and then you could say 25 million of it was on Kulu, and then the other 25 million Vicario. So obviously, I'm not saying Vicario is a bad player, but this is the difference for me. Is when they let Coutinho go, they went boom, boom, world-class goalkeeper, world-class centre back.
They absolutely pulled the pants down. Was it Barcelona who paid 150 million for him?
It was.
They pulled that because he just never the same, was he? As soon as he left, he was absolutely awful.
He went there and in 3 months in got a massive injury, didn't he?
Oh, was that what he was? Okay.
Yeah. And then he sort of floated about. To be fair, though, even then, he still got moves from Barcelona to
Bayern and won a Champions League
to
and scored 2 goals against Barcelona on his own.
But my thing is, listen, I'm not saying every player you bring in is going to be £100 million, but at some point, I'm not saying it has to be now. At some point, you've got to go and buy top players, because every time Spurs fans talk about players, we go, "Oh, he's going to be 60 million, it's too much. He's going to be 80 million, it's too much." At what point, though, do we go, yeah, we want to make the next step up? When is that?
If you want to win the Premier League, at some point, you've got to spend big money on a couple of players. You can't rely on finding gems all the time. That's like Brighton do it, like Brentford have done it, but like they're going to hit ceilings at some point.
What about just
on gem discovery all the time? It's like a sleuth, you can't. At some point, you have to kind of go, okay, we've got the makings of a good squad, but now we just need to drop in 1 or 2 bits of absolute quality to finish it off. And that Tottenham need a striker at the end of and I think the summer's probably the most likely time to do it. Oh, look who it is.
I don't know why this makes me laugh. You look like a condom. You look like a condom with a beard.
How cold is it there?
It's freezing, mate. It's absolutely freezing.
In Germany, did anyone see the
cold.
The video of Leipzig training in -11? Anyone see that
Like
video?
What's that?
Minus 11.
Yeah, that's what Danny Olmo come out with. Like, he looked like a walking sock. Like, he was covered everywhere. You could just see his mouth, and then he lifted up his snood and went, "Welcome to Germany," and put it back down. Absolutely insane.
Just quickly before I bring Danny in to bury Sean about something. Just quickly, Graham 30 said, "Thanks for all the great content, Sava. You are more than welcome, and thank you for the kind words. I'll send the £2 over to you later. Really, really do appreciate that." Isaac Mazingazi Maldini, that is a wonderful name, has said, "Isaac from Uganda. Let's be honest, we need a defender." Yes, Isaac. Yes, we really truly do need a defender. I would love it to be Maldini as well, even at this age. So thank you very much for the super chat. And then Krista Scorpion Nyland. What a name that is as well. That's a brilliant name. Just bring in Tapsoba or Hincapi and get it done with. I hate to break it to you. Tapsoba signed a new 4-year, 5-year deal. I can only imagine what they would charge Tottenham for Tapsoba this window, and we didn't want to just pay 30 million euros for Dragusin.
Have you seen they've put a 130 million euro release clause on Wirtz now as well? Apparently,
Florian Wirtz, one of the
Yeah,
best players in the world.
130 million
I think
euro.
that guy's unbelievable.
Class
That
little
guy's
player.
footwork is off. I've never seen.
That's a Man
We-
City player. That is.
He's up. Yeah, he's never coming anywhere.
In Pep, they'll get Kimmich done in the summer because he can play everywhere, just like half the City team can.
Let me bring in Danny Kyriakou all the way from the Netherlands. Danny, as our correspondent in the Netherlands, I know what these two make of it. I know how much you hate Daniel Levy. What would you like to say about Spurs if Dragusin doesn't join Tottenham? Where are you laying the blame, Danny? Talk to us.
It's Coys Daniel all the way, mate. I'm
Coys
not blaming
Daniel.
it. It's Coys Daniel. That's all it is. It's Coys Daniel, man. Coys Daniel. Big up to Daniel, man. Coys, he's fully Coys. He loves it.
Coys.
I mean, yeah, Coys. That's Daniel Levy, and his boy goes to bed. It's like his ritual, right? But look, honestly, like with Dragusin, like I'm not, to be honest with you, I expect it. Like it doesn't bother me anymore. It doesn't, like, I don't get baffled by it. I don't get fazed by it. It's what I expect, right? If the thing is, right, I heard I think Sean was saying earlier on in the show that something about if we bid early in the window, right, that maybe Bayern will come back in. But the fact that if you twist it on the other hand, right, if we bid early and we had the deal lined up in place before the transfer window opened, we could have on the day it opened, we could have done the deal there and then. It could have been all agreed, and we could have signed it before anyone else had even had a sniff in with him. Who knows? Obviously, agents talk, so we don't know like how it works. We don't know if they might be saying, "Look, there's a deal with Tottenham. It's on the table. It's going to get signed. Do you want to jump in or not?" But if you're kind of forcing a hand if you do it, get everything ready straight away. The fact that what it looks like from the outside, right, from what we're seeing as fans, it looks like that they've tried to haggle around the payment structure with the terms and maybe the bonuses, all that kind of stuff, and now it's allowed Bayern to make their decision. That's what it is, right?
That's such a dirty word. It's such a dirty way. It makes it sound like we're down the market going, "Oh, you want 50 pence for that big lighter."
Sean, that's what it is.
10 pence.
It's business haggling, right? They're haggling. They're haggling for £5 million of
haggling.
It's
dirty.
haggling. It's haggling.
Negotiating. It's what happens in business.
Haggling.
It's like we're down the market.
Like £1
We're down-
each,
we're
£1
down at the
each.
market.
Remember that?
£2 a pound. I'll give you £1 a pound. And come on.
Could
Come
you
on
imagine
now.
Daniel Levy
Haggling,
going
isn't
into a ballroom? I'll give you £2 for him. I'll give you £5 for a bonus if he scores a goal. I'll give you this and that. Oh, could you imagine? But no, honestly, like it's literally just them just faffing around with the money again. But look, if it doesn't happen, what can we do? We're Spurs fans, right? We have to wait and see what happens, right? It's the next one, on to the next one. That's all it is. And for me, it probably will be again someone who they're just gonna get out of maybe their third or fourth choice option. But we have to just wait and see what happens. But it probably will end up being something like that if Dragusin does choose Bayern Munich, which
Might be Joe Rodon returning from loan.
Look, if it's Joe Rodon, it's what do we expect, right? Dier's still at the club. It might be Dier. Dier might end up staying for the rest of the season, and he'd be
3-year contract.
centre back. Yeah, who knows? But it wouldn't surprise me. Like, it genuinely wouldn't surprise me anymore. Like,
so Danny, if I ask you the question to you before I let Sean rebuttal, because I'm sure Sean will want to say something. Do you believe that Daniel Levy has taken a step back in this whole new setup and is nothing to do with these deals, and it's all left to Johan Lang and Fabio now to decide how much we pay and bid? And
I think it's probably the most delusional thing anyone could ever think, right? If they think Daniel Levy's taking a step back from getting involved in everything, he said it himself. He wants to get involved with everything. He epitomizes Tottenham Hotspur because he's built this club up from a £20 million business deal that they did to worth what? This club's worth now what? 4 billion, 5 billion, 6 billion. If they want to sell it, he's the profit margin he'll make if he sells the club now. It's insane. So of course he's gonna have his hand in everything, right? Which businessman who makes a business that profitable, that big, not be involved in any of the deals that go on in the club? It's ridiculous if you think he doesn't, right? It's just stupid. It's like you building a company, Sav, and saying, "Oh no, do you know what? I'll let someone else run it, and they'll make the money for me," when he's done everything himself, pretty much. Like,
so let me ask this. So Henry and Sean. So where are you two with this? Because there are a lot of cooks in that kitchen, aren't there? You've got Paratici, you've got Johan Lang, you've got Scott Munn, you've got Daniel Levy, Rob McKenzie's in there. What is the structure at Tottenham? Like, who is in charge of what? That is what I would love to know.
Paratici's the one that's leading the negotiation 100%.
I don't think leading negotiation because he's not employed. He's subcontracted, right, to the club.
Yeah, but he's a consultant. But we all know in that room.
Yeah, Sean's right. It would be intermediaries who'd probably do it, right? Who'd probably like broker the deal. But if you look at like it's probably, I think some of the players' recommendations, like it's like Paratici's kind of acting as like a kind of, like you said, he's a consultant. That's what they've called him, right? So he's probably going to give opinions on the players that he thinks Spurs should sign, the way maybe Spurs should structure the deals, and that sort of stuff, because that's what he was doing before. So he'd probably give his advice on how the club should do the deal, and then the club and whoever else within the club who actually like sign the deals and stuff like that, like Daniel Levy, Lange, and whoever, they're probably ones who do what Paratici's recommending. And that's how I think how they're doing it. But I've got no idea. I don't work for the club, so I don't know. But it's my opinion.
Henry, Sean?
Go on, Sean, you go.
I think on some of these foreign deals, I think from what I've read, it's intermediaries that take care. Like I think there was intermediaries that were taking care of the deal for Pedro Porro, and they screwed up to the point where in the end Daniel Levy stepped in and got it done, even though it took to the last day. But it was the intermediaries that were messing around.
Are they third-party intermediaries then, mostly?
Yeah,
like they hire them for the deals, basically.
Yeah, lawyers. Yeah, but obviously lawyers that are familiar with various contract laws and language barriers and stuff, I guess. But with this one, I think there are intermediaries involved. But I'd imagine that Paratici's not allowed to be involved in the direct negotiation.
No, he can't be.
I think Rob McKenzie's like chief video scout, isn't he? Aston Villa. His last job at Aston Villa was video analysis. So
data analysis, wasn't it? Wasn't he something to do with data?
I thought that was Johan Lang. Maybe you're right. Data analysis and video. I'm sure it was video analysis as well, though. I'm sure. It's been so long since I looked into it. But when I looked into it, I'm pretty sure it was video analysis, because I was like, that's a bit strange. Like, isn't that what coaches do? But and then Johan Langer is the guy who's definitely more into the data stuff. I think like Paratici is a bit more of like an old school kind of like relationship kind of guy, like goes around and figures out what's going on with.
Well, it's like he just gives his advice on how things should be done, right? Whether that's players he likes or players that should be scouted, or maybe he thinks that player could do something for Spurs. And maybe he, like you said, maybe he does give his opinions or advice on how a deal should be brokered. But that's what I think he does for Spurs at the moment.
Yeah,
he's got some involvement.
Rob McKenzie was a video analyst at.
So he must be part of the data analysis team then.
Yeah,
right?
part of it. Yeah. And obviously Johan Langer was in charge of it. until Monchi came in and kicked them all out to the curb. So I reckon that element of doing the data stuff, and then Paratici's doing the relationship bits and going around talking and using his leverage to find out who the best kids are, then they probably combine that way. But in terms of who's the person who says, okay, this is the most we're going to pay, I'm sure it's probably Daniel Levy that says the most we'll pay is 30 million or whatever. But the structure of it is probably handled by the intermediaries. But the value of the player is probably determined by Paratici and the guys. Right? They'll probably say he's not worth any more than 32 million. So that's the most we should go to. But I don't know.
It is weird though. Sorry, Sav, go on.
No, go on, mate. Go on.
I was going to say, it is weird though, like the fact that you see all these reports that say that Tottenham are prepared to pay big for Todibo, right? But it doesn't look like Nice want to sell him, which is understandable. It's January. They're quite close in the title race and they're quite high up at the table. And do you know what I mean? That they wouldn't want to sell one of their best assets right now if they think they've got a chance to win the league, right? So that's understandable. But money talks at the end of the day, and I don't think the money that they would want to part ways with him right this minute in January, Spurs would not be prepared to pay. I think they'd want more than what his actual value is or what they value him at right now, just to take him away in January. In the summer, it might be different, right?
But can I ask Danny? Let me ask you. And by the way, please, when I see comments like this, stop with this whole just let Ange do his thing. I heard this with Poch, with Jose, with Conte, with Yol, with Redknapp. Listen, I'm all for letting managers do their thing, but at some point you've got to back them with players that they want as their first choice or at least second choice. It can't constantly be trying to turn 5 loaves and what is it? I don't know, the 5 loaves and 2 fishes thing. I don't know, whatever that was all about back in my school days. But Danny,
lads, so let me just quickly. I'm absolutely shattered. I'm falling asleep. Can I duck out? Do you mind?
Yeah, duck out. I'm only going to go for 10 more minutes, guys. So yeah, duck out, Sean.
Love you all. Have a good night, guys. Take it easy.
Take care, man.
I'll bury you next time, Danny.
Yeah, in your dreams, Sean. In your dreams.
All right, Fred. We'll go for
he's a big
dreamer,
10 minutes.
But Danny, the thing that worries me is I understand this whole notion. Obviously, it's business, and as Spurs fans, we always go, just pay this, just pay that. But if this is the player that Postecoglou has turned around and said, I want that guy. I want Dragusin in my club.
Try and get it done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
he's playing for
we're talking about,
yeah.
right, we're talking about, I get it, right? If we were talking about, as I said earlier, if we're talking about a player where the club is saying we want 80 to 100 million, they're at a big club and you think, oh, this is never going to work. I understand. I'm not expecting Spurs to do that. But we're looking at a 21-year-old that is being valued at less than 30 million euros, and that's including add-ons.
Yeah, exactly.
Plays for Genoa, who are a decent mid-tabled Italian team. And we've taken 11 days to get to the asking price that they wanted anyway, which was 30 million euros. We've ended up paying what they want plus a player, but we've taken 11 days to do it. I just can't. Yes, Bayern Munich might have come in if we had bid on day one and they might have backed it. But at the end of the day, surely you have to try, because we're now 100%. We're now at that stage again where we knew we needed a centre-back. We knew that centre-back was paramount. We knew it was paramount last summer, Danny. And we're now 6 months down the line. We knew addressed it.
Sava, we knew this from 2-3 years ago nearly. We needed 2 centre-backs in the squad, maybe 3, right?
Right.
And in the summer, said he wanted another centre-back after we had signed Van der Ven. He specifically came out in press conferences saying he wants another centre-back, right? And the club did not sign another centre-back. Already, that's not giving him what he's asked for. And I'm sure that he probably wouldn't ask for the world if they've already signed quite an expensive centre-back in Van der Ven, right? And arguably, that was an unbelievable signing, right? He's turned out. I mean, I'll forget the injury issues that he may have in the future, but so far, what we've seen of him, he's unbelievable. If they go and sign someone else who's 20-30 million pounds, they could have gone and got what's the guy's name? Tosin Adarabioyo at Fulham. Was his name? Tosin, yeah. they could have got him in, right? And he could have got him for like 10, 15 million pounds if they really wanted another centre back. And do you know what, right? What really annoys me is the fact that you hear this thing all the time about these fans that say, oh, but he fits in the Ange system. He's got the stats like you're playing FIFA or something, right? He's got the pace or sprint speed of 85 or strength of 85. Tosin would fit the FIFA attributes that Ange would want, right? So why not go and pay him? He had a year left on his deal in this summer. I don't know what his contract situation is like now, but we could have got him in and we could have had 2 centre backs in. But we haven't lost Dragusin just yet, but the way it looks like we are going to lose him. And I just hope we don't, because
I'm still on the fence, Danny. I'm still on the fence about it. But right. Sorry, just this one guy, Pep Dynasty. No one's having a go at Ange. I don't know if you're listening to this entire conversation. No one's having a pop at Ange. This has always been, from me, and definitely Danny, Henry probably a little bit less, has always been about the board. This has always been about the board. This isn't stop. I can guarantee straight away you're one of these that have either followed Ange from around all his clubs, or you're Australian and now trying to tell us about our own club. We're not having a pop at Ange. I think, I don't know, guys, everyone agree here that if we give Ange the tools, he's going to be very successful at Spurs?
I think, do you know what I think, Saba? I'll go
right?
as far as saying I think he'll be one of the most successful Spurs managers ever if Spurs, the board, give him what he wants. Personally, I'll put it out there. I don't even care. That's what I've seen, what he could be capable of, his potential is just, I think he could win the trophies that we want us to win as Spurs fans if he's given what he wants. But if you can't even go and pay 30 million euros for Dragusin, right? If we don't get him, that tells me the board are never going to change. For me, that's just my opinion. If they go and get like a someone else, like a third-rate defender, Christensen, or I don't know if he's third-rate, but I don't think he's the player that they would have wanted, right, originally, because the first 2 players was the ones they can't get. So they're now going further down the list. And as soon as you start going further down that list, it kind of makes you feel like they're going for this data-driven model that we're all hearing about Spurs are doing, right? But they're not going to get the players that the data have given them to say these are the ones that fit the system the best. So it makes no sense. What's the point of going for a data-driven mode if you're not going to get the players to fit the best players to fit the system? And the best
just quickly, Henry, before you ask Danny that, just really, really quickly, guys, there are just under 600 people in it and only 240 likes. Spurs fans, we're so bad at this. Smash that like button. Please subscribe to Tottenham on Tour, and please subscribe to Henry Wright TV. Sorry, Henry, go on, mate.
I was going to say, Danny, what's your thoughts on Werner? Because so that's another one that's massively divided the fan base, especially if we have him and Richarlison on the pitch at the same time.
Henry, honestly, right? Honestly, I've been having fights with people in WhatsApp chats about Werner, right? For me, right? Do you know what really pisses me off, right? About Tottenham fans, right? Is the fact that you will see them one day, he'll be linked with Man United or someone else, and they'll be like, they're laughing that Werner's going to go there. And as soon as Tottenham's saying, oh my God, he's going to be amazing for us. He's going to be so good. He's going to do this. And it's like, come on, are you stupid? Like, are you effing stupid? Like, the worst thing is about it, right, is that this is what I'm talking about, FIFA stats, right? This guy has got the FIFA stats to fit the Ange system. He's got the pace. He's got maybe the passing, right? He might be able to cross a ball, right? But can he finish, which is what we really need at the moment in our front line? We need people who can score a goal. And from what I've seen in the Premier League, when he was in the Premier League, his finishing was very inconsistent, right? On certain occasions, he'll put the ball in the back of the net, it'd be a great finish. On other occasions, he reminds me of a bit like Kulu up front. Like, sometimes he'll produce a really good goal, right? But not often. And then other times he just misses the most easiest chances. But with Werner, he's going to get a lot more chances than in most.
Have you seen his top 5 goals completion as a Leipzig player?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes, he scored some great goals.
Yeah, absolute worldies, but I just can't.
Brilliant goals, unbelievable goals.
But the thing is, guys, listen, my worry with Werner, right? If I try and dial it down from where it was the other day, I think that upset a lot of fans. Is
just a little bit. You were getting filters in your chat.
It did, but Danny, I'm where you were, right? When Timo Werner was at Tottenham, when he was at Chelsea, every fan I saw absolutely berated Timo Werner. Berated him.
I know they were. So were we. I was doing it as well.
Yeah, this is a classic case of if Man United, who were trying to buy him last week, had signed him, we would have gone, what a dead club signing that dead
100%,
player. Right?
100%.
We sign him, and every fan's going to me, he was the best option. I didn't hear, Danny, a single fan before
no
Saturday
fans.
morning. I didn't
No
see
fans.
a single fan say, do you know what we need in the January transfer window?
We
Do you know
need
who our
Timo
best
Werner,
option
yeah.
is?
Yeah.
I was hearing Jimenez. I was hearing Tony. I was hearing Jota. I was hearing Illing Jr. I was hearing Kostic. I was hearing all of these players. No one said Timo Werner. Suddenly we sign him, and what we're getting is he's perfect for an Ange system. Now, my worry with the fan base, right, Danny, is now everyone, even most of this fan base in the summer, was saying to me, "Don't want Ange. Don't want Ange."
I know.
Now,
we were having these arguments with people. Do you remember that?
Now, Danny, everybody is an expert in an Ange system, an Ange formation. That's not what Ange does. Ange doesn't like players like that. Ange doesn't do this. Ange is better in his second season. Ange. And it's like, I love Ange. I love Ange. Great manager. But we've got to stop talking about the guy like he can turn water into wine. Now, Werner has got a lot of good attributes. He is quick.
100%.
He will get into positions to score goals.
Yep.
He will press relentlessly.
Yeah.
None of that is my worry. We've got players that do that.
Yep.
My worry is, can he do what the others can't do?
That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem, Sav. Both of you guys, like, for me, it just seems that we've just got, for me, right, he is basically Richarlison with pace. That's how I see him, right? I don't think he can control a ball. I think his control, what I've seen him with his control, I think his control sometimes is like Richarlison, but I think it's slightly better, right? He's obviously rapid quick, right? Which is going to be good for us on the break. But are we going to, if he's breaking the lines, right? Say if he's coming, he's gunning down that left-hand side, right? What's going to happen is, we're going to have Brennan Johnson there to try and hit a ball over the bar like he usually does, or Richarlison to hit the ball or run past the ball like it's not even there, like he did the other night. I mean, we haven't got players who can put the ball in the net. That's the biggest problem we've got up front. It's not the pace that we've got pace up front, right? I think we've got a fair amount of pace to sort of hurt teams. We just don't have anyone apart from Sonny who can really is clinical in front of goal. Maybe Madison when he comes back, but
you got to be careful about Brennan Johnson, because I got into a Twitter
I saw
dispute because apparently I was bullying him. So just be careful what you say.
Do you know what? Right, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say how it is with Brennan Johnson as well. Timo Werner, right? For me, he's an okay signing. People keep saying risk free. Okay, how I see. I'm wrap up Timo Werner right with this right. Timo Werner was not an Ange signing. Timo Werner was an opportunity that was presented by agents, right?
Very true.
Right? By agents. He was presented to Man United. He was presented to Tottenham. Tottenham board or people at Tottenham would have gone to Ange and said, look, Ange, we've got this opportunity. Timo Werner is there. Would you like us to go for him on loan? Ange is not going to sit there and say no, because he is dying and desperate for players, right? And when you've got someone who fits some of the attributes that Ange likes, the pressing, the relentless work rate, he's quick, Ange is not going to say no to that. Of course he's not, right? And it's a cheap deal to do right now, because there's not a big outlay of financial outlay. So from a board perspective, it's perfect win-win for them, right? Because if he does well, they look like the holy grail, right? And then they sign him for a cheap fee in the summer. But if he does bad, it's like, okay, see you later, mate. Ta-da. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
well, look. I do need to end the show, because I mean, like, my next show starts in 10 hours and 20 minutes. Look,
can I just say one thing on Johnson, right? Johnson is a bang average player, and I tell you why. Just
all right, Mr. Box Office.
Just no, I'm not Alex Davis here, but I'm just saying he is bang average, right? Actually, yeah, it is Alex Davis, isn't it? He's bang average, and the reason why is because look at the way he plays with the football at his feet, right?
I agree.
He's got no football intelligence whatsoever. And these fans, right? I'm sorry, I know he's 22 going on 23, but I've seen 22-year-olds and 21-year-olds and 19-year-olds who you can see ability in them. You can see, all right, they've got something. I do not see anything in Johnson's game apart from maybe he's.
Danny, if you can't see what Johnson's doing, mate, you can F off Danny Emirates because that's what I get.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I know. It's just honestly.
Look. Okay,
fans, but anyway.
listen, we are going to end the show there. Before I do, I've got a few super chats I must read, and then we are going to end the show there. Henry's nearly pushing 30, everyone, so we need to let him go to sleep because he's getting old and pushing on some time.
2.5 years yet.
You're the one who said it earlier in the show, not me, mate. Right. Shafay Sajjad, big up Shafay. Hope you're well, my friend. Has said bring back Longley. Well, at the moment we're playing Emerson Royal.
I think they probably will bring back Longley at this rate.
Oh, don't. Big up
God,
Shafay.
could you imagine?
Here we go. Here's a fan favourite. Leader of the Phil Army has said Coys Daniel's memoirs 5 million apart. It would be, wouldn't it? And all that book would be is a list of hundreds of players that Spurs could have got if they paid £5 million more. Absolutely, Phil. Thank you so much. This one isn't a super chat, but wondering if you guys will give apologies if he cooks. Listen, I don't have to apologise for anything. If Timo Werner comes in and does well, that's what Ange is paid to do. Brilliant. Good.
Amazing.
All I'm saying is I'm just a bit underwhelmed. Does this mean that every time somebody gets something wrong, they have to apologise to someone? Because hang on, nearly all our fan base were going, Vicario, he's awful. Who's this? What's going on? Anyway, and Mark Dorset has said, I don't have no idea. He's still better than Poch. I think he's talking about Postecoglou. Yeah. Before we say Postecoglou is better than Pochettino, can we at least let him achieve some of the things that Poch achieved, like second place in the league, multiple semi-finals and finals, a Champions League final? Can we at least let managers have the time to achieve that before we immediately say they are better? On what basis could you judge that at the moment? Which is probably, I'm not going to answer it now, guys, but like he said, Sav, come on, I was right. Based on what? What are you basing this on? Anyway, Jerome has come in, and thank you so much, Jerome. Always a massive support of the channel, and said, if we lose out on Dragusin, then there is no hope for this club. We are down to one centre-back, and he is not fully fit. Ange is a top-class manager, but he cannot make Werner better. Even Flick could not make him better for Germany. Jerome, I think this is what a lot of people are counting their chickens on, Jerome, is that Postecoglou can make every single player better. If that was the case, we wouldn't need to buy players. So I don't know why I'm doing that. That is not a microphone, by the way. I don't know why I'm doing that. But Jerome, big up to you. Listen, Danny, thanks for coming on, mate. Always enjoy
pleasure, man. Pleasure to come on. It's been a while.
It's lovely to see you once every 3 months. It's like a quarterly review. I love this. Give Brennan time. It's not time, mate. I just watch him with a ball at his feet. He's not technically a good footballer. That's not time. You're just good at it, or you're not.
You can see ability in someone, right? And when I was in the stadium for the last game, you could just see he just doesn't have a football brain. Like it's like he doesn't know what he's doing. Like at some of the times, like there were certain times where he should have ran. Like if you read a football game, right? You can read position. You have positional awareness, right? He has got no positional awareness whatsoever. He just can run in straight lines in open space. He's not good at one-on-ones, right? He's awful at one-on-ones. In open space, he can run because he's quick, but against a player, he can't stand up against him and beat his man. I haven't seen him do that hardly, right?
No, I agree. But listen, look, we must go. Everyone is, of course, welcome to all these boys. Always know they can join me at the 10 a.m. show, especially if it's going to be cooking, depending on Dragusin's decision first thing in the morning. Much love, Henry. Thanks for coming on, mate. I know you've been streaming a lot today like me. So let's go and see if our partners still want to be in relationships with us. Danny.
That's the worry, mate.
Take care.
Yeah, always a pleasure coming on, mate. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Everyone in the chat, thank you so much. Let's smash the lights, get to 283. And thank you to everyone who subscribed today. We've had over 135 subscribers in one day. So thank you so much. We'll see you in 10 hours and 15 minutes for either a lovely, lovely morning or some Coys Daniel bashing. See you tomorrow, everyone. Take care. And as always, come on,
you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Quite good.